So the market's going to wrap up here in a half an hour. So I'm going to just sell into the very end of the market here with this ridiculously tight stop. Just above the highs. So this is the demo that I started today. It's got $5,000 in it. And I'm giving away all these scripts I used on it. These are going to be 10Ks. You're risking about $12 to $13 to $15 per drop. So that's a 10K. It's a mini lot. These are the mini lot drops. And I'll show you the results. The 406 trades today. I traded the smash down in the euro dollar with these. So last night, I was looking for retracement. So I put in these buy limits really close to the market because there was $5,000 in the account and I wanted to get the party started as you would. So the only time I took profits without having my predetermined take profit, you can kind of see the scalps when I get to the end data, the 400 trades. So all the ratios are good here. There's break-even ones in here. This is 5 pips to make 8. All 10Ks, very simple, very clean. I got 30K sitting above me right there to sell, and I probably got about 60K down, 80K down here. Standard lot spread all over the place. Some of these are like 16 pips to make 16 pips. So I have this kind of break-even ones. I dropped all of these. They last 8 hours. So for instance, when the market was smashing down here, I dropped these. I dropped several. I even dropped these ridiculous 5 pips to make 5 pips for 8 fucking hours, a 10K on one ticket. All right, so this isn't a 10K on micros. This is a solid mini. So I got it sitting there, and the market rifles through it. Last night, I came in here very aggressively, as I would, as I tend to just want to do, can't resist. Put in the buy, so we're drifting up last night. I think I bought some of this plunge. And I think I scalped a little bit, and I go, you know what? I'm going to buy the pullback. I'm assuming that this bottom's going to hold, and we're just going to keep drifting up, right? In other words, smash down, come into the buy window, this 20 pip buy window, which I did not trade that. So my trading career started here. I'm pretty sure I wrote them 10Ks here. I come in, I buy this pullback, a little bit of pips, and just a little bit of yen trading. Then here I come in aggressive. I mean, I got buy limits. I go to sleep. I got buy limits. I just got a pant load of buy limits down here. I'm just throwing this shit in front. And here I'm just loading it up, and I've got I'm using as many tickets now. I'm allowed to put in $10 million positions now. I mean, or $100 million positions because these are 10Ks now. I'm allowed 1,000 of these tickets. So come in heavy, and when it starts pounding down, I'm putting in buy limits, and there's not one market order in this. The only market order is when I got out at the market here when I saw, the rest of this, I just kept dropping these ratios. 10 to make 20, 10 to make 8 to make 14, 10 to make 30, 10 to make 40. There's no 10 to make 50s, but I probably could have made 50, right? This is almost 50 pips to here. So all I'm doing is, and these are not great trades, by the way, buying into this plunge. You got to understand, I bought into that. I was at about, started with 5,000. I think I'm about up $1,000 actually. I think something here. I'm up $600. Okay, then they just start blistering down here, and I'm like, I'm buying that shit. I'm just dropping it. Is there any magic to not so much because the ratios are good. This is a ridiculous trade, but it's paying for the spread. It's paying for the punishment. This is a cute little scalp, 5 to make 8 kind of Fibonacci. Now you can make up as many of these as you want. I like this break even. This trade worked out really well. We were risking 15, supposedly double your money. But I'm going to put $2. It costs you about $3, $2 to $3. So this actually costs you, if they blow that one ticket out, it's going to cost you, $13. You lose $13, sir. You got so you got the. I'm putting $3 of commissions, and if you're going to trade the pound, you're just going to have to add that to this. It's going to cost you, and you're going to really get stopped out in about 3 pips. So you're out. That stop is too tight for the pound, but now you could make a 30 to make 50. You go on and on. And I could have put those at the very edge. So what I would do is, if I'd written that script, and I could have easily just keep adding on to this array. So this is very simple, very clean. Having giant blankets of tickets in there works too, but we just got involved in some trade here, it looks like. So we just put on a 10K in the yen, I think. So just messing around here. But this is a nice clean system. No analysis. I didn't use any analysis other than buy low, sell high. I did buy only, though. I must tell you, I was not selling. I think I might have put some sell limits up there for a little bit of a gag, but we could have sold some of this stuff. I think you would have got, the only time you would have made money on this chart if you sold was to sell the trap up in this glorious high of the day. That paid off pretty good. So that actually came all the way back to here. I don't know if you, so on this one I made this price pulse. Even though this is crashing into my buy limits, I made out, and then here I cashed out of the rest of it. There was just one lingering trade out there. I never reloaded the gun. I could have reloaded this, and so the other option is to, so on my real money I did reload this thing, although I held the position. So I wasn't a big fan of that because it was really up and I should have got out here. Like I'm like, yeah, if I get out here, I mean, maybe they pull back to here. No, they came all the fucking way back to here, by the way. So on this one, I could have cashed out, come back in like a pig, just like I did here, like a fucking pig. Now, granted, some of these tickets expired because I was dropping 2 hours. So to be conservative, these guys are expiring. They're not even there to get crushed, okay? And I'm going to keep trading all week and prove this system. That if you even have a slight bit of fucking brain power, if you can identify, and if you have to turn on the Williams fractals to pick out the top tick Tommies, like these lonely wicks, this is a killer trade just off of this. For how many pips, right? You stack up. Maybe you can make a standard lot or 50K. I don't know. It's up to you. But here I could put in 10 right here and trade a standard lot off the top of here to here. So that's an easy $80, right? Whatever that is. On the yen, or on this one, if you're going to, you could see this lonely wick. I hope so. I mean, I hope people can see that this is the low. This is a day from here to here. This isn't rocket science, man. This was an amazing, when I said sell up here, I'm like, I can't fucking believe how stupid. Like, look at the stair step. Trend traders are like, yeah, this is top become a bottom. Let's put in tight, use these tight 8 pip stops. I'm sorry, 10 pip stops to make 20, 30, 40 pips. Put in 30K here. Drop. It's very easy. You should be able to do it. Put a sell limit here. Never filled, right? Never filled. personally, if I see this thing going down, I'm like, where can I buy this fucker? Can I buy this for a bounce? Can I start, like, how much can I buy, like, once we take this? When I see this, I'm like, dude, I'm throwing them out in front, right? Instead of buying at the market, I'm just going to throw orders out in front of it. Just like here, if you threw them out here, at some point off the top, you earn profits. You could have gone flat. You could have closed all open in pennies, and I did not babysit this thing. I loaded it. I walked away. It just so happens that this day that I traded, the volatility, because the news came out, was so insane that this is what really happened. Okay, so buying into this plunge, and don't stand in front of the market. The ICT is just a fucking idiot. He can't imagine placing orders in front of the market. He can't imagine having to trade it. I don't know. He can't imagine it. He has no imagination or something. There's something wrong with the guy. There's no fucking optimal trade entry, by the way. I'm buying this whole fucking thing, dude. I can only lose $12 a ticket to make $40, okay, or to make $38. If I duplicate that same ticket, I mean, how hard is it to? I had the $5 drops. These are the $10 drops, I guess you'd call them. Keeping all the stops at 10, basically. Can you trade with a 10 pip stop to make 10 pips? I mean, this is not exactly break even, but I mean, this is kind of the world, you know? 8 hours. Can you find a place to put that on the chart? Make your own little iceberg order. Make your own little dark pool orders. Own little 8 hours, you know, so if you're afraid, and there's plenty of tickets, trust me, that probably didn't fill, although I think I was forcing it to trade. Dude, I put the orders in front until I ran out of margin. So this morning, when we were down here, when this thing went up, let me go. So I did trade this thing. Okay, this I did trade. When it came back, I like, okay, yes, it's going up. I'm putting buy limits underneath it that last 8 hours. I know they're gonna fill me. All it has to do is go like this. That's all that's happening. So I'm being super aggressive. Because the ratios are good, so I can. It is going to cost me. I could have made $5,000 instead of $3,000. I could have made, and if I would have sat here and cashed out, but then again, I wouldn't have experienced that final extension after we came ripping all the way back to the starting gate. It's insane. If you saw this thing, you just can't believe it, right? We're down here, and I'm buying into this thing. And when it starts to take off, I started putting buy limits in here when this thing started to take off. And then here comes the news, and it just smash, and then all the way back to the starting gate. Unbelievable. Now, not really. So on my money, I'm long this thing, and I'm like, holy shit, is this really worth fucking dick? I'm like, those motherfuckers are going to take it all the way back. So I started putting buy limits in here, right? Then we got the final extension, and I said, I'm just going to get out. So I got out here. And to me, it's all over till next week, and that's going to be buy down here and sell up here. Same bullshit, different situation. But since this doesn't have any limitations in a way, I mean, these are very clean. These are chunky 10K single drops. So this is explicitly how it looks. So on the 15, I mean, if you're holding this position, it's a little nerve-wracking, to be honest. I didn't like it so much because here I'm like, we get this first burst, right? This is scalpable to the floor. It fell through, pulls back again. Like, holy shit! Here comes the news. Kablamo! You could add sell limits here, and you could have made yourself 20 pips coming back. So we rip up, and this one cashed out, and this was what. But I did not reload the gun here. But with my money, I did. It comes back, and I reload with limits. All I'm doing is taking these fucking limits and putting them out in front of the market, just like I'd sell here If I saw the news like this, I'd be like, okay, let's sell here and let's sell a lot here. Let's sell 80K here and let's sell 30K here. So once it comes ripping back, if I don't have the target set like that, I got my finger on the take profits ticket. So I have a hotkey for take profits. And instead of getting in at the market, I let the market come to me. It comes ripping back. And then I'm like, okay, let's take profits on that. And you could have done a rinse and repeat on this. So with one hand, you're dropping the limits. With the other hand, you're cashing out of what instead of getting in at the market and worrying about trade management, you're letting the market come to you, fill some ungodly ticket bank. You got sell limits here. They fill you, you cash out. You could have done the same fucking trade. Cash out. Or you're buying this pullback for this. But it's always like sell limits here, buy limits here. Let them come to you. Have a way to get out, rinse and repeat, because you'll make more money if you rinse and repeat, because you just buy this shit, sell this shit, buy this shit, sell this shit, buy this shit. And then the final so-called trend trade, top become a bottom here, things calm down, we're drifting. It's almost inevitable in a way, not so much. But I certainly was not enjoying the fact that, okay, I could have cashed out of everything here, but it was a swing trade. It was like I thought, well, we're just going to clear that, maybe pull back a little bit and then do this. No fucking way. It comes all the way back to the starting gate. So I'm like, those fuckers. So I had more money. I had some more money. I came in, added another 40K here. So it's three standard lots to here. And I'm like, I'm just going to hold it. And I should have bought more here. And then I'm like, okay, once it goes to here, I'm just out. Because top tick Tommy situation, new trap, new trading range of 10 pips. So here's the lowdown. Here's the stats. I'm in some trade here. I'm getting all concerned now. Keep my perfect track record going. And so, it's consistently. So this is the, I bought the yen. I admit to it, about it right there. So this is a 2-hour trade. I just wanted to see what happens. So this might be a winner. We'll let that go. So I'm underwater. I'm down 94 cents right now. But this is what I was doing, was this stuff. Just before close, I thought, let's see if I can. This is what it looks like. I wanted to be able to show you before the market closes in 10 minutes here. So if this order lasts and I have here's some 1 hours. So a very low risk trade. 1 hour, this is going to be a scalp. 1 hour up here. I don't think we're going to go up there in an hour, right? What could you have here at the end? The spread's going to get kind of nasty, and it's going to keep you from getting filled on the limits. So the problem with the stop entry is if you put a buy stop here, you could get filled. As the market closes, the ask is going to go into your ticket, and they're going to fill you on ask because you have to buy the ask and sell the bid. If you put a limit order in here, if the spread goes wide, this ask has to come down into this limit order, and the bid has to go up in here. But if you put a buy stop here, this is why retail people get clobbered trading in Asia, because you're going to buy the spread they're going to fill you on that ask. That's how it is. So here, if I have a buy limit, that ask has to come below the yellow line. So this would be the trade right now. And you could put a standard lot in here, I suppose, if you wanted to sit with your finger on the exit trigger. Is what I would do, is be like ready to get out of that trade, or if that doesn't become a winner, then get the fuck out. So here, we'll put a 5 pip stop. I think this broker will let me trade inside the spread. That's possible too. Uh-oh. Did they close that down on me? Okay, let me see if they'll let me drop this inside the spread. So I'm going to force this to get filled, kind of. Yeah, perfect. So that's a buy limit sitting inside the spread. Now, not a broker's. Wait, unless that's a sell. Oh, that's a sell. Yeah, I think that's a sell limit. We're fucked on that. We got to delete that. Yeah. So just go to this trade part. This is all you need. I got the trades. Close the ticket. So before they fill it, they'll let us take it off. Okay, so we're looking to go long. In the next hour, it has to drop this far. into the close, it has to go smash down. It'll fill a 30K here, and we don't have to wait for the target to get hit. We can just let it fill us, let the market come to us. So I'm going to continue trading this to show you what it looks like if you're going to trade with 10Ks as opposed to this giant, like, I mean, I must have run 60,000 trades on the MT4, that one demo I was running. It was crazy. So life doesn't have to be like that. This is more what people would expect. Now, I'm not going to trade NASDAQ on here because I don't have those set up. And I don't know, the NASDAQ today, what would it be like for you to trade this? Look at this thing, just keeps pounding north like nobody gives a fuck. It's just still going up. So in the NASDAQ world, this drama here when the news came out, so the same drama that you had in the euro, you had here. Now, if you would have traded my system during this and you knew that this low existed, now it'd be a clever thing to discover, wouldn't it? But so this is what you would do here. Now, you would have to get out your wallet possibly, because even a micro lot here to survive this, to have buy limits in here and buy limits in here, and survive that wick right here may be too expensive, right? But look at the rip back. I mean, just the wick there. And here, if you start selling above this, you get crushed, right? Unless you're aware of the fact that this big fucking itching vacuum here. This is the first tip into the window. Right? So trap here. Here's a trend trade. You're buying on the half hour, or you pull the trigger, pull the trigger, pull the trigger, pull the trigger. Here's where you have to actually rely on your buy limits. That hopefully you're trailing some buy limits in here, just so you pick up this ridiculous sell-off and then rip, right? So this rip, and then you get another chance at another bite at the apple, which it's inconceivable. But of course, the sellers are just loving the shit out of that. It's just like the buyers are. So the volatility is just mind-blowing, and if the market was going to stay open tonight, I'd just put some buy limits in here and just wait for them to fill and just be like, okay, we're risking $100 to make $400. We'd put the orders in, we walk away. There's nothing we can do about it. So I just accept it. And the spread's probably going to get, this is a fixed spread, I think, here. So Hugo's going to let you trade this. And actually, in the single drop world of micro lots, you might want to do micro lots on this one, but in the Forex, yeah, you have to trade almost a 10K to make up for the fact of the margin usage. So here, I think you use about, if I put a trade on right now, I think you use $60 a margin just to trade this thing. Or maybe about, that sounds right, 60, because this is 30, and yeah, so about $60 per ticket here, but I'm not going to trade this one quite yet. I wouldn't bother because the euro, I'm trading that with my money. So when I put the same trade on here, I actually trade this thing just blisteringly aggressive, flat out. Is kind of it's like having a girl on the side, so to speak. So why I have a demo and why I trade the demo is because why would you practice your guitar licks? I mean, aren't you trying to fucking get better? So we'll go to the stats here. So what was the performance of this thing in one day of running Psych? I started last night when the sun set. I came in heavy with these orders. 400 some trades. And here's the complete 20 pip stop. 20 to make 40 is my double your money. Those are the trades. The average trade was 2.2 hours. It's not bad, right? We could have made, we could have had it feathered out. We could have made different stops. We could have had a little bit better thing going on there. I think these are the ones I just took off the table. We were barely up, and I just got out. It was a yen trade, and I'm like, I'm just going to get out of that trade. It's stupid. Like, fuck it. Let's just go trade the euro. So 95% of it was the euro. We could have maxed out here at 50, 60 pips maybe, but the this was the, I'm going to make, what was it, 16 pips. So this is the break even 16 pippers. And it doesn't seem to matter. Of course, I would say some of it's skill. Putting in risk of ruin is 100%. Love that. I mean, it's so stupid. I don't really care, honestly. I am saying, okay, it's $5,000. Now, if we come in, every time we drop a ticket, we know the exact risk. And I maxed the account out this morning. There was no more margin left. Before the market ripped up, there was no more margin left. So between basically the risk of ruin, I guess, was a concern for the stats, because at one point, there was only about $3,000 in the account, or maybe $2,700, but I'm all in. And if they stop me out, I pick up another ticket. I'm like, fuck that. If there's available margin, okay, so now I'm going to trade it like this continually forward. Because I think that if I would have had a little bit more margin available, I could have made more money. But we're going to see what happens. So I'm going to trade it this week with these drops. And I'll do rinse and repeat. I'm going to actually try to behave and put it, because it's a fucking demo. And people say, oh, it's a fucking demo. I'm like, well, so what the fuck? It's like, that's a fucking a mocked up fake gun that's going to blow your head off. Yeah, that's a mocked up fake gun that's going to blow your head off. So, hey, what are you going to do about it? But I think it's fascinating. Take this account. This is an example of a lot of stop outs there, but hey, double your money ratio. Now I can make the ratios better. We could risk 30 pips to make 60 pips. If I know where to place those orders, what I think is going to be an auction, if I think it's going to be an engulf, then what? You're looking for that trade, right? So if you could do this on the NASDAQ, and I guarantee you that if your ratios are 8-to-1 on some of these tickets, and you've got 3 of those in there, and you add up the whole fucking thing. Now, yeah, I'm not winning every trade on that, but I suppose if I put in even a couple bad ratios peppered in there, that would have paid for the stop hunt, so to speak, where they stop me out, where they just rip my face off. And they're all hand drops. So the only work here is going to be having a mouse to drop them in like this. Well, we got 1 minute left here, so hurry, put a buy limit. Now, you could make these so they last all week long, and I guess the brokers don't like this, but if you pick the expiration here, W1, then Sunday night, it's pending. You ain't got to load this shit. You could load these tickets, because if you make them expire in one day, you'll watch them expire tomorrow. If you have your platform open, you'll see them disappear. But yeah, if you put your order in here, or good till canceled. But this way, no, I guess. I like the idea of it just lasting a week in case I forget it's there. I don't think it's going to happen, but so coming into Sunday night, I'd love to buy down in here. So put a couple little stingers in there, and you can get too elaborate. You don't want to get tendonitis dropping these tickets, but yeah, this is the starter pack. So I'm going to put this in a zip folder. It's going to be, I called it the 10K single drop limits, or mini contract, and that's it. You have to do it on a demo first to you have the confidence to know that, okay, they take me out of this, stop me out. I'm going to buy the other part of that thing if whatever happens. And realizing that if you're going to trade the pound, it's going to be like, okay, well, they're going to shear my head off there. But of course, some of those things put into the mix in the so-called kill zone, you're going to get some drama there, and you're going to make some money. So that's the holiday giveaway. MT4 Forex trading. In on limits only. Out at the market. Out on, if we either let it hit your stop and take profits, which I mostly did there, or I'm going to say, you know what, because I could have got out early, but I did let it play out through the whole thing, but I would have made more money if I reloaded, right? So the performance is based on how much, and if you can see, oh, it looks like they're going to stab it down a little bit here. Throw a buy limit in front of the market and find the undercut. If you're looking back into the market profile, like if you're staring down into the market like this, you're looking left into it. If you could turn it sideways, all you would see is this carved out like this, and you'd see these shelves like this. So if you got sell limits that you start here, and then you come closer to the market, you make them last not as long. And right now, if the market was open, if this is coming in tonight, I'd be like, let's put some buy limits down here, see what happens. And if I'm right, I'm right. I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I see it crash in, I'm like, oh, it looks like it's going to be one of those things. And I'm sure everybody was looking at this thing today going, man, if they're going to take that out, like, holy shit. And sure enough, bing, bang, bong, and you could have traded all those and had your hand on the keyboard. And it was about, what is that, 15-minute charts. It's like 2 hours of bullshit up and down. So that's the way I'm looking at it, is just pure risk. Choose how much you're going to risk per trade. How long does the trade exposed to possibly being filled? The 4-hour trades are down here. The 8-hour trades are down here. So the rate of change, you're looking for them to hit this thing, cash out, hit this thing. You got dead cat bounce trades in here. Like I'm going to risk 8 to make 14. This is the one that was showing up quite often, was that 8 to make 14. If you looked at the stats there, you could see, oh, look at this one that does 8 to make 14. It's not a bad ratio. It's not double your money. It's not greedy. It gets a nice fill. But no market orders on entry. This is just market comes to you, crashes through your limit grids, comes flying back. It either cashes. You're either fucking right or wrong. I mean, I think ICT is going to need this to pay his attorney fees, but so it's a giveaway free to him if he wants to download it. I know he probably can't make it to the platform because he's in that sterile fucking room that he's in. Like, what happened to this guy? He's got 40,000 views on him just going, I want to thank everybody for coming, and don't forget to tip your waitress, and I'm living in Van down by the river, and my sons are fucking playing goddamn banjo music in a tree on fucking Deliverance. Me and my family are playing out a little episode of Deliverance in the background. Squeal like a pig, honey. Geez, I love it when you... Don't forget to bring that to bed, would you? ICT, dude, come on. Step up to the plate. Come on, I'll battle you out. Let's trade mini lots at fucking Hugo's Way. Put a $5,000 account. Let me see who can make the most money every day. The ICT, I'm waiting for the 618 or the fucking goober like me be throwing the fucking limits in. I'll trade ICT any day of the week. So people want to do a trading contest. Okay, same platform and same broker, same leverage on your market set. Demo account, go. All right. Hey, you might make more money than me. But let's see what happens. I got time for that, but like I'm not really into the contest thing because I haven't really got time for that. But can you make money from the news without? Yes, because the ratios save you. You're risking 10 to make 20, and I could have put buy stops in there too, by the way. I could have just as easily, no offense to buy stop entry, a little slippage there maybe. Not a little bit of slippage maybe on the limits, but not so much. I think you get the better order. It's supposedly first come, first serve, technically speaking. The guy that's got his limit in before the guy that pulls a trigger, his pull trigger guy is depending on a fast server connection. fast computer. The limit guy just puts them in, and he's but if he has the cash out set in, it's like a slot machine. It's just like a matrix. It just goes through it like cheese. It's over. Was there slippage maybe on that? Maybe no slippage on the demo, but slippage on the real money. I don't know. But the news, I love trading the news. I mean, I used to be afraid to trade the news, but I'll sit there with my finger on the drops. Now I get in before the news and I pick a direction. I'm like, that's going to go like this. If it doesn't, And even if it didn't, you had so many chances to fucking load the gun. You see it's come smashing back like that isn't going to last. It spikes up. I mean, when it goes into this fresh price territory here, like, who doesn't think this thing can come fucking flying back? Like, really? You think this is going to just... Okay, when it pauses here, you got a few minutes, 2 minutes to figure it out. But you don't have to figure it out. If you got sell limits up there for a trap trade coming back the other way, you just put the orders in, you walk away, bing, bang, bong, and it's fucking money. I wouldn't even fucking worry about it. But all the concern, all the care, all the fucking, oh, what's this? Let me look at my RSI. Okay, it's great to look at the RSI and all that shit, but dude, I'm just trading price fluctuations. Honestly, I could do that and say, look at this if you look at that over. Dude, but even if that's true, the market is so fucking brutally volatile. When the news comes out, why not fucking take advantage of it? From a completely... every time you drop an order, you're risking $12. Can you handle it? You have a left hand, you keep tally. I got $500 of risk out there right now. So I could have $500 of risk for 4 hours, or I could have $500 of risk for 8 hours. But if I start putting in 12-hour scripts and 8-hour scripts, and I start to overload the fucking wagon, then I'm going to have fucking $2,000 of risk. It's not that hard to figure out. Now, if it's 2,000 to make 10,000 and the ratios are good and there's 20 grand in the account, I'm probably going to put on 10% risk. I'm going to put on a $2,000 trade, and maybe I'm going to make 20Ks because I'm going to play pig, but I don't think so. I'm 10x from what I was trading before. Don't forget, I've taken account at Trader's Way, from which they let you run 1,000 tickets there, I think, or maybe more. Maybe it's 2,000 or maybe 10,000 or something. I ran that fucker, dude. I didn't cash out. I went from $5,000 to 80 grand and it never cashed out because it would take 20 minutes to get out of the trade. It's so slow. Even real money, the demo is just like their real money. It's just slow and it's just churning and churning. I'm like, dude. So out of just pure stubbornness, and then I started trading it with like naked orders of 40K, thinking I'm just going to buy this thing. Dude, I got 80 grand in the account. So you just can't come in and buy 50Ks when the market's smashing down, even if there's 80 grand in the account. I don't think people realize this, but you're going to figure that out, right? On a demo, you see that shit. That's real life. I mean, that's real demo life. You're going to see that shit. And you're going to go, oh, if I was on the other side of the trade, yeah, but when were you planning on getting out of that trade? Because during the news, it's bing, bang, bong, you're up, you're down, you're like, holy shit, fuck. So if you're holding on to any kind of size position, looking for the final destination, the final in golf, well, the fucking approach avoidance shit, the market's up. It's not, it runs out of buyers, waves of people come in, it's there, it's here, it's the order imbalance, this guy, that guy. Every market's flipping out. Everybody's losing their shit. They're like, what the fucking inflation? As if it matters. But the anticipation of the news comes out. Okay, people pull the trigger. The goobers, all the big boy goobers, the morons pull the trigger. I mean, what do you think the volatility is coming from? It's from fucking people wearing their fucking masks pulling the trigger. Some fat finger fuck. I mean, that guy that they blamed, the big sell-off, there were these spikes in the market. Do you remember when there was a fake report? Bush was in office, I think. Bush was in office, the last Bush. And they had this rumor. And I mean, the market spiked. Dude, it was harsh. It was like some rumor about something. And I thought, God, this is like, people are going, this is kind of fragile. Yeah, well, fuck, it's like over the counter practically, this is. Well, actually not. This is Eurodollar. So over the counter, this thing's just vicious, right? Well, I guess NASDAQ over the counter too, in a way. The way it behaves. Anyways, that's that. So I'm going to put this in a zip folder. It's going to be these. It consists of this. All you need to blow up your account. Trades, which includes the trade management. Close all profits if you want to do that. Close per symbol. So when you're on the chart, if you go PSY, this is profit per symbol. But I made it so that you can't get to that unless you open it up. Otherwise, you'd be accidentally triggering the shit. So I keep it tucked away in another tree. You have to really force your way into that. The close the ticket, not so much. Close the ticket is always sitting there because you may want to close these tickets, which you can't now because the market's closed. But if you think you put in too much size, if you think you put in too many tickets at a stupid level, if you think you're standing in front of the market too closely, which I could have traded better there too, because I really came in hard and said, I'm just going to stack this shit in. It's going to bounce somewhere in there. And I put in these dumb shit 8-hour risk 5 pips to make 5 pips. And I think you can see the execution on the, on the stats, but so it's a cleaner example of what it's like. And if I come back and I make some 30 to make 80 pips or 25 to make 50 pips, and I put it on those markets that will do that kind of move, and all the markets explode at once, and then, oh, am I going to manage those trades? I guess after 2 or 4 hours, if my target's not being hit, I could close all profitable trades and let the pendings sit there and let the pendings just stack up for more possible fill and drama. But just to make a point here, because, if you're going to say trading NASDAQ or trading futures is going to be, I could definitely make these standard lots and then let the games begin. I mean, they're talking, you would have just made 30 grand, today, but the account needs to have more size in it because, technically speaking, if these were all like that, but then they'd have to be, you have to start with a bigger account to withstand being down 20 grand. All right, so you can make these 20Ks, and then it'd be more like you need 10 grand to make 6 grand. If these were 20Ks, if I did the same thing that I'm doing here, or I could do that too, I could make these 20Ks, because if you don't want to change these ratios, like I like this trade, but I wish it was bigger, and I don't want to drop 3 of these but then you got to think, okay, well, which ones are the 20Ks on my screen? But if you keep it, maybe you open another account with 20K only and keep everything organized like this. Most of what I'm doing is because I figure some people are going to want to trade 1Ks and some people are going to want to trade. I thought that maybe they figured out, open up the script, you could edit it. But that's MT4 is like Windows. It's like a do-it-yourself world. It's like if you don't know how to do if you don't know how to make a boot floppy, like I thought it was magic when I was a kid, like, oh, I need a bootable drive. And it was almost like if you had one, you had like the key to the city. Oh, I got a bootable drive. That's crazy. Like I could boot something and oh yeah. Otherwise, fucking ain't no go. You're looking at the BIOS all day. Ain't no go. Ain't no work. And give me that fucking bootable floppy. I was totally just like, oh my God, you gotta have. I thought I'm gonna 8 copies of that fucker. Put it on some Maxell or put it on a nice verbatim disc. Hey, they're still in business. I'm making thumb drives. But that's the old days. But man, I just love this MT4. I just can't live without it. Give me a break. Now, market orders, I'm not going to put that in this thing because that's not done. But for the snipers and the at the market people, you might want to say, oh, this looks like a great trade. I got filled, and I didn't do it. I wanted to keep this totally limit only. But if I did that, and now this would make it a little bit less objective, because now you're looking at the price maybe on the 15, you're like, oh, I'm gonna buy that at the market. But trust me, that's harder. trading at the market is like you got to be watching the tick chart, you got to be timing it, you got to be waiting for the setup. Okay, we're getting filled on limits, but let me add at the market. Now I think that is the best of both worlds. They come in to your and having an alarm. I'm going to try an alarm maybe. I want to see what happens if I put an alarm on the limit. If it goes off when I drop it, or does it go off when it executes? I'm not sure how that works. I think it's when I drop it. So, but it'd be nice to have a bell go off. But I usually look at my phone and I'm like, okay, yeah, I think I'm in on something. Like I see all of a sudden I'm using margin. Oh my God, what's going on there? And then just wake up in the middle of the night getting filled on some stack of tickets. But this is a starter pack. You can build from here. So the way I did it was organize it time first, size, time, and the stop. Stop and take profits. First number is stop, next one's take profits. Pretty easy. It's like if you can't figure this out, it is kind of difficult in a sense. I mean, as you go down, if you make an H12 hour, it's going to be at the top, so it doesn't make sense to go H12. You could make H6, which I did not do H6, but you could have it, and you could have, that's the only thing missing is H6 for me. H12 makes it come at the top of the stack, so it's not as organized. I'm always thinking closer to the market here, drop the H1s, the 1 hours, around the market. So you want to pick up a few scalps there, and then the ratios, I've made this 0.5, so it's the top of the stack. And you can make a bunch of complicated little cutesy ratios. The more diversification, certainly the better. You can have better results. You can have better, and I'm going to build this up because it's worth building at 10K, because to make these, and I do have single drops, believe it or not, micro lots of this fucking same idea. But here it's evident as fuck when they fill that and then market retraces, and this is really based on buy low, sell high. There's no other there's no stop. These are, here's the other beauty. Maybe I left this out. Hope it's painfully obvious that if I put it down here, it's a buy limit. If I put it below, it's a buy limit. Above, it naturally flips to be a sell limit. So instead of having buy and sell limits, it's the cleanest system in the world, really, seriously. If you're going to trade objectively on so-called supply and demand zones and structure turnaround points, stop hunt, supposedly retail guys have their stops here. You could have easily put a standard lot in here, no problem. I would put it in a bandwidth, so I'd have a kill zone, so to speak. I'd start maybe here, buy limits, buy limits, buy limits. In fact, I'd probably put buy limits in here, so I'd buy this whole thing. I have the chance to scalp out. If I think I'm in too big, I could have scalped out here. I got my finger on the take profits. I see we get filled. That's a 1 hour, a 15-minute structure. So if in 15 minutes I could have scalped out, or I'm waiting for it to blow through this, overcome that, and I'm out. I'm out because we're hitting these treetops and there's people with sells. So people are trading really big in there. People are selling up in here, and this is an amazing, smooth, clean rip back. I would cash out. You could expect noise after that. Any kind of clean move like this, and then it's going to get chopped. Big, strong, clean move. It's almost like real life. And here, once again, there's a pocket to place buy limits. So I'll be doing that when we come into, and I'll just cash out. And I could probably easily make $2,000 a day with just these scripts and just the euro. I think it's possible. But that would mean that if I made $500 here, I would cash out. Like we buy into this thing, it comes to here, I cash out, then I rinse and repeat, do the same trade. So if I hustle, I'll make more money. It's almost like real life. But yeah, it's going to be, typically wait till you're going to maybe hold, if you're afraid of the news, you hold a limit order in your hand. Let's say you got a 40 pip stop, so you're risking $20 here. You're holding it here. The news comes out. You see it goes up. You know this exists this low because you can see it. and you just start putting buy limits down here and go, well, let's see what happens. It's kind of fun, you know. See if they come take it back there. Oh, they filled that. Oh, they retraced, and put some scalps. So you have to pepper orders in here. I mean, people laugh, but you're going to put in your break even, so maybe risk 8 to 8 here, because if we come down to here, a high probability you're going to ricochet back to this floor. So you're placing a dense pack in the middle here, the bulge of the so-called market profile. There's a top become bottom right here. So, you know, all that kind of bullshit. 618 down here too. You know, everybody's calling out, oh, my moving average is yeah, I know everybody's loving it, but it's about the density of tickets here, and I would take that scalp 80% of the position off, and maybe 20% drifts up here. But just the same, look at all these ricochets above here. So there's enough insanity left in the market that if you were here to watch it happen and you could take advantage of these trades, bing, bang, bong, but you just plucking off $50, $100, and you do 10 of those trades. So $1,000, $1,500 a day. Or you kind of trade bigger. You want to put standard lots in and do the same dumb shit, or put 50Ks, whatever have you. It's like a real fucking job. So you can't just sit back. I can out-trade a robot, I'm sure, like this, right? Because the robot, I don't know, maybe the robot's going to out-trade me, but I'm looking at going, okay, here, and then I'm also, robot doesn't have his finger on the trigger to cash out of the thing and go, okay,